How Fotis told to Apuleius what witchcraft her mistress did use. When I was abed, I began to call to mind all the sorrows and griefs that I was in the day before, until such time as my love Fotis, having brought her mistress to sleep, came into the chamber, not as she was wont to do, for she seemed nothing pleasant neither in countenance nor talka, but with sour face and frowning look, gone speak in this sort, Verily I confess that I have been the occasion of all thy trouble this day. And therewith she pulled out a whip from under her apron, and delivered it unto me, saying, Revenge thyself upon me, mischievous harlot, or rather slay me. And think you not that I did willingly procure this anguish and sorrow unto you? I call the gods to witness. For I had rather mine own body to perish, than that you should receive or sustain any harm by my means, but that which I did was by the commandment of another, and wrought as I thought for some other. But behold the unlucky chance fortuned on you by my evil occasion. Then I, very curious and desirous to know the matter, answered, In faith, quoth I, this most pestilent and evil-favoured whip which thou hast brought to scourge thee withal, shall first be broken in 1,000 pieces, than it should touch or hurt thy delicate and dainty skin. But I pray you tell me how have you been the cause and mean of my trouble and sorrow? For I dare swear by the love that I bear unto you, and I will not be persuaded, though you yourself should endeavour the same, that ever you went to trouble or harm me. Perhaps sometimes you imagined an evil thought in your mind, which afterwards you revoked, but that is not to be deemed as a crime. When I had spoken these words, I perceived by Fotis' eyes being wet with tears and well nigh closed up that she had a desire unto pleasure, and specially because she embraced and kissed me sweetly. And when she was somewhat restored unto joy, she desired me that she might first shut the chamber door, lest by the intemperance of her tongue, in uttering any unfitting words, there might grow further inconvenience. Wherewithal she barred and propped the door, and came to me again, and embracing me lovingly about the neck with both her arms, spake with a soft voice and said, I do greatly fear to discover the privities of this house, and to utter the secret mysteries of my dame. But I have such confidence in you and in your wisdom, by reason that you are come of so noble a line, and endowed with so profound sapience, and further instructed in so many holy and divine things, that you will faithfully keep silence, and that whatsoever I shall reveal or declare unto you, you would close them within the bottom of your heart, and never discover the same, for I assure you, the love that I bear unto you, enforceth me to utter it. Now shall you know all the estate of our house, now shall you know the hidden secrets of my mistress, unto whom the powers of hell do obey, and by whom the celestial planets are troubled, the gods made weak, and the elements subdued. Neither is the violence of her art in more strength and force, than when she espieth some comely young man that pleaseth her fancy, as oftentimes it happeneth. For now she loveth one Boeotian, a fair and beautiful person, on whom she employs all her sorcery and enchantment, and I heard her say with mine own ears yesternight, that if the sun had not then presently gone down, and the night come to minister convenient time to work her magical enticements, she would have brought perpetual darkness over all the world herself. And you shall know, that when she saw yesternight, this Boeotian sitting at the barber's Apuleius, when she came from the bains, she secretly commanded me to gather up some of the hairs of his head which lay dispersed upon the ground, and to bring it home. Which when I thought to have done, the barber espied me, and by reason it was bruited though all the city that we were witches and enchantresses, he cried out and said, Will you never leave off stealing of young men's hairs? In faith I assure you, unless you cease your wicked sorceries, I will complain to the justices. Wherewithal he came angrily towards me, and took away the hair which I had gathered, out of my apron, which grieved me very much, for I knew my mistress's manners, that she would not be contented but beat me cruelly. Wherefore I intended to run away, but the remembrance of you put always the thought out of my mind, and so I came homeward very sorrowful. But because I would not see me to come to my mistress' sight with empty hands, I saw a man shearing of blown goat skins, and the hair which he had shorn off was yellow, and much resembled the hair of the Boeotian, and I took a good deal thereof, and colouring of the matter, I brought it to my mistress. And so when night came, before your return from supper, she to bring her purpose to pass, went up to a high gallery of her house, opening to the east part of the world, and preparing herself according to her accustomed practice, she gathered together all substance for fumigations, she brought forth plates of metal carved with strange characters, she prepared the bones of such as were drowned by tempest in the seas, she made ready the members of dead men, as the nocethrals and fingers. She set out the lumps of flesh of such as were hanged, the blood which she had reserved of such as were slain, and the jawbones and teeth of wild beasts. Then she said certain charms over the hair, and dipped it in diverse waters, as in wel water, cow milk, mountain honey, and other liquor. Which when she had done, she tied and lapped it up together, and with many perfumes and smells threw it into an hot fire to burn. Then by the great force of this sorcery, and the violence of so many confections, those bodies whose hair was burning in the fire, received humane shape, and felt, heard and walked, and smelling the scent of their own hair, came and rapped at our doors instead of Boetius. Then you, being well tip-led, and deceived by the obscurity of the night, drew out your sword courageously like furious Ajax, and killed not as he did, whole herd of beasts, but 3 blown skins, to the intent that I, after the slaughter of so many enemies, without effusion of blood might embrace and kiss, not in homicide but in utricide. Thus when I was pleasantly mocked and taunted by Fotis, I said unto her, Verily now may I for this achieved enterprise be numbered as Hercules, who by his valiant prowess performed the 12 notable labors, as Geryon with 3 bodies, and as Cerberus with 3 heads, for I have slain 3 blown goatskins. But to the end that I may pardon thee of that thing which thou hast committed, perform the thing which I most earnestly desire of thee, that is, bring me that I may see and behold when thy mistress goeth about any sorcery or enchantment, and when she prayeth unto the gods, for I am very desirous to learn that art, and as it seemeth unto me, thou thyself hath some experience in the same. For this I know and plainly feel, that whereas I have always irked and loathed the embrace of matrones, I am so stricken and subdued with thy shining eyes, ruddy cheeks, glittering hair, sweet causes, and lily-white paps, that I have neither mind to go home, nor to depart hence, but esteem the pleasure which I shall have with thee this night, above all the joys of the world. Then, quoth she, O my Lucius, how willing would I be to fulfill your desire, but by reason she is so hated, she getteth herself into solitary places, and out of the presence of every person, when she mindeth to work her enchantments. Howbeit I regard more to gratify your request, than I do esteem the danger of my life, and when I see opportunity and time I will assuredly bring you word, so that you shall see all her enchantments, but always upon this condition, that you secretly keep close such things as are done. Thus as we reasoned together the courage of Venus assailed, as well our desires as our members, and so she unrayed herself and came to bed, and we passed the night in pastime and dalliance, till as by drowsy and unlusty sleep I was constrained to lie still.